Julianne Hough, Whoopi Goldberg, Susan Sarandon, Dolly Parton, Halsey, and 200 million women in the U.S. suffer from the incurable, debilitating disease endometriosis. So do I. Hi friends, it's Carol. Today I thought I'd sit down and do my endometriosis video, kind of like informative and half my story kind of thing. I'm wearing my Fight for a Cure sweatshirt, got my yellow blanket. Yellow is the color, awareness color for endometriosis. If I look down, it's because I'm off my notes. I'm not that smart, I can't memorize everything. But anywho, let's just get right into it. So like I said at the beginning of the video, there's a lot of celebrities that have endometriosis and they're finally starting to speak out. One I didn't list was Padma Lakshmi, I can't say her last name, but she's a professional chef. She's actually the co-founder of the Endometriosis Foundation of America. So I'm really glad that celebrities are starting to actually speak out about having this disease. And one of the first ones I ever heard about having it was Julianne Hough, and it's just cool to know that even celebrities go through this kind of thing. What is endometriosis? Endometriosis is a painful chronic disorder in which the tissue that normally lines the inside of the uterus grows on the outside of the uterus, sometimes also on the ovaries, fallopian tubes, and lining of the pelvis. Severe cases can grow on the bladder, pelvic wall, and anywhere in the abdomen pretty much. It's incurable, and right now the treatments for it are still like experimental. There's no like surefire treatment for it. So treatment is usually therapies, hormone blocking injections, laser surgeries of the affected area. They go in and laser it out, and of the actual affected organ, so taking out ovaries and hysterectomies, things like that. Now endometriosis is only diagnosed through surgery. So you might have the symptoms and everything, but the only way they can actually diagnose you with it is if they do like laparoscopic surgery and go in and actually look and find it. Pain caused by it usually is so debilitating and so severe that it just completely takes away the woman's quality of life. A lot of times they have to quit work like I did. You can't even get out of bed most days, and it does get really bad. Some women don't have it as bad. There's different stages, kind of like cancer, and it grows like cancer too. There's like stage 1 to stage 4 being the most severe. Some facts: as of 2018, 1 in every 5 women will have endometriosis. It is now defined as the #1 cause of infertility. There's no definite known cause, although there is like speculation that it could be anywhere from genetics, so like if your mom or your sister have it, or an aunt, or even to the toxins in food and water and the air. The Endometriosis Foundation is actually doing a lot of work right now trying to find easier ways of diagnosis, maybe like through blood tests or some kind of thing, so they don't have to do surgery. Because every time you do surgery, even though they can go in and laser the endometriosis out, it causes so much scar tissue that also can cause infertility. Also looking for better treatments and actually trying to find a cure. The symptoms of endometriosis. So if you don't have to have all these symptoms, if you just have maybe like 3 or 4 out of all of them, definitely talk to your gynecologist. I'm not a medical professional, disclaimer. But if you do have any of these and you think that you might have endometriosis, talk to your gynecologist. Symptoms are irregular menstrual cycle, irregular or abnormal bleeding, chronic pelvic pain, and sometimes lower back pain, severe menstrual cramps. I know that mine would put me in bed. I couldn't even do anything on those days. Chronic fatigue, constipation or nausea during your cycle, so just really feeling yucky when you're menstruating. Having extreme PMS symptoms could also be a sign. Pain during or after sex, that's a big one that tells you that you have it. Even sometimes having pain during or after a bowel movement. If you have infertility issues already, that endometriosis might be the cause of it. And also if you have chronic UTIs, pelvic infections, yeast infections, not only will you have those a lot, but oftentimes these infections are misdiagnosed and you actually do have endometriosis, but they think that maybe you just have pelvic infection or things like that. Really talk to your gynecologist if you have any of those symptoms, and just kind of be aware of your body. And if you think that you're not feeling right, definitely talk to your gynecologist and let them know. yeah, that's kind of all the facts about it. My story is I was diagnosed through surgery in 2012. I was diagnosed in 2012 with stage 4 endometriosis, so it was really, really bad when they first found it. I had been having ovarian cysts constantly because I do have PCOS, which those two kind of go hand in hand. I know a lot of women have PCOS too, polycystic ovarian syndrome, where you get chronic ovarian cysts. Everybody gets them, but with PCOS you get them a lot, and they're painful, and they burst, and they grow back. And I was having a lot of issues with those, and just chronic pain and horrible menstrual cramps. And so finally they did the diagnostic surgery. It's laparoscopy, so they just kind of make a teeny hole in each of your hips, and then put a light through your belly button and go in there and scope it out. If they do find it, they'll laser it out, and then you'll start treatments, different things for it. They put me on some hormone blocking injections for 6 months. Sadly, they don't tell you, because it's not technically chemotherapy because it's such a light dose of it. But say if you're a guy and you get prostate cancer, that drug that they give you for chemotherapy for prostate cancer is the same drug that they give you. It's called Lupron. It's the same drug that they give you for endometriosis to turn off your hormones. It pretty much puts you into menopause. It didn't work. They actually caused more problems. I started getting really bad hot flashes and menopausal symptoms, and started getting bone loss in my knees, and I was losing my hair. I was sick all the time, and yeah, they didn't work. After that, I was still having lots of cysts, and my left ovary was really, really bad. I was having cysts burst, and they were starting to get bigger, and finally I got my second surgery was to get my left ovary removed. After that, it was fine for a little bit, but still kept going and got worse. And so we did another surgery, number 3, to go in and do another laser removal kind of thing. That's when my doctor at the time, which I think I'll save that part and do an actual story time of what happened with my doctor and all the stuff I went through with that. Let's just say that definitely should have got a second opinion about everything. Not that I didn't have endometriosis, but yeah, we'll just leave it at that. But yeah, my doctor at the time told me that it was all over my uterus and ovaries and just really, really bad. Started weighing the options of a hysterectomy. I already had my son, thankfully. We still, even the doctor I have now just still has no idea how I got pregnant. I'm so lucky that I was able to carry him. A lot of times with endometriosis, when it's that bad, you just have a lot of miscarriages. Yeah, I started weighing those options. It was really hard because I really want kids. I mean, that's my whole, even when I was a little girl, when they asked what you want to be when you grow up, I was just like, oh, mommy. It was really hard, and I was married at the time too. We did try to get pregnant again because, weirdly enough, pregnancy is actually a really good thing for endometriosis. It stops it because you don't have a period when you're pregnant, so it stops those hormones. So a lot of times someone with endo will get pregnant, and then after they have their child, it just doesn't come back, even though it isn't curable and it never totally goes away. It is a chronic disease, but like cancer, it could stay in remission for years. It could come back instantly. Eventually it just started getting so bad I had to quit my job at the time. I was in bed every day, and I had to weigh the pros and cons kind of. I had to think about, okay, do I want more children? At the same time, right now I can't even be a complete mother to my son because I'm in bed all the time and in so much pain I couldn't even hang out with him. So sadly I did decide to get the hysterectomy. I only got my uterus removed. We kept my right ovary, that way there'd still be a little bit of hormones, which kind of is a bad thing now, but that way I didn't have to do like hormone replacement therapy and stuff like that. After that, it did get better for a while, but more recently, in the past few years, it just started getting horrible. For some reason that I'll tell in the story time about the whole doctor thing, I started seeing a new doctor, and they did a cystoscopy, which is kind of another surgery. I had to go under, but they didn't cut me open or anything. And finally checked my bladder, which I had in the beginning always talked about my bladder, and my bladder hurt, and it hurt so bad when I had to go to the bathroom, and my bladder was really the main cause of everything besides my ovaries. but it never got checked out, just kind of got overlooked. And they checked my bladder, and I actually have interstitial cystitis, which is a bladder disorder. It's painful bladder syndrome, which it does live up to its name. Now they also think that I have endometriosis growing on the outside of my bladder, since I do still have that right ovary and it's releasing hormones that the endometriosis could possibly be feeding on. So I've been really watching my diet to stay away from dairy and everything like that. My next few appointments, we're going to be talking about possibly getting that ovary removed, and so I might have my 6th surgery coming up soon. It's tough. It's really hard knowing that I'm only 28 right now, and I was only 24 at the time of my hysterectomy. I think with my son's autism and everything, and him really needing my whole focus, I can't say I don't regret the decision. It doesn't weigh on me as much as it used to. It still sucks. I know that God has bigger plans for me, and I'll have more babies someday. And endometriosis is not fun, and anyone watching this video who has it, my heart just goes out to you. I think endometriosis definitely needs to be brought more to the light and talked about more, and that's why I'm really glad these celebrities are starting to speak out, because we do need to bring awareness and get a hold of these doctors and scientists who can really try and help find a cure for it. So that's my whole story. Sorry it was kind of fast, and I know I talk really fast, so sorry for that. Some people like it, some people don't. If you yourself have endometriosis, please leave it in the comments below. Let me know. If you guys have any other kind of questions, comments about it. From 2012 to now, I've gained a lot of knowledge about it. I've done a lot of research on my own, not just things I hear from the doctor, and that's definitely some of my advice, is do your own research, get second and third opinions, and even then, not saying not to trust doctors, definitely trust your doctors, but trust your own instinct too, and definitely do your own research. Yeah, if you guys have any other questions, let me know. If you like this video and this kind of like story time video, let me know. Give me a thumbs up if you guys want the actual story time about my doctor and all the drama with that, and I'll definitely make it for you guys. I think my next video will be something a lot lighter and something a little more fun. I know this is kind of a dark subject to talk about, but I think it needs to be talked about, and we definitely need to bring more awareness to this nasty disease. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and ding the little bell so you'll be notified of the next time I upload. And until then, I'll see you guys next time.